Well, hey, welcome everybody to lowering your utility bills and improving your home health. We're so excited to be with you here today. Real quick, if you are having any sound issues during the session, they can happen, there is an audio tab. Head up to that audio tab and click on sound check. That should resolve a majority of your problems. If you're still having issues, you can choose between the phone call in and the voice over internet or computer audio. So just try switching between the other one and whichever one works for you. Ultimately, if those do not work, a lot of people have success if you just log out of GoTo and then log back in, and you should be able to get it set up that way. And I just want to promote real quick, we've got a virtual net zero energy conference for those of you who really want to take a deep dive into energy efficiency. That's all free, all live, October 20th, 21st, 22nd, 6 to 8 o'clock at night. So you can check that out on our website. And we have memberships if you want to support our mission to empower people to make healthier and more sustainable choices in the renovation of the places we live. Today, I will be your speaker, your presenter, your guide through your home. And my name is Brett Little. I'm the program manager at the nonprofit, the GreenHome Institute. The GreenHome Institute is an organization that helps people make their homes more sustainable. We're actually headquartered in Grand Rapids, and we are celebrating our 20th year this year. Very exciting as a small nonprofit entity here to help you. And before I jump into it, I'm going to hand it off to Kimmy Spring of the Creston Neighborhood Association to talk real quick. Kimmy.
Well, welcome everyone. This is so exciting. I just want to put a little context to how this all came about because I'm the community organizer with the Creston Neighborhood Association, and one of the things we pay a lot of attention to is what our neighbors want and what they prioritize. Always, at least for the past 3 years that I've been with the association, the two top tier issues that come out are affordable housing and maintaining that, and environmental issues. So we created a pilot project to address both of those, and we're able to get funding from the Weggy Foundation to address both. And really what we're trying to do here is connect people to resources. So we want there to be more affordable housing by helping especially lower income people lower their utility bills so they pay less for gas and electric in particular, but connect all neighbors in our neighborhood to resources to help them be more energy efficient. So it's kind of a three-pronged program that we've got in this grant, doing home assessments with folks so they can just figure out are the things that they could do. And that's what we're doing tonight, which is so exciting, to get some connections to free money for lower income families that they can get energy efficiency work done, and also to advocate on the state and local level to make more opportunities to reduce our carbon footprint and address our climate chaos problem. We have a climate chaos committee. I will put my email in the chat box if anyone's interested in joining that. And that's about it. This is all just fabulous. I'm not hearing you, Brett.
Sorry, I was on mute. Thank you. And so thank you so much, Kimmy. We'll dive into it now. And we've got a guest speaker later too from the Kent County Weatherization Action Agency. So, and then Kimmy, if you want to mute out your camera as well for now. There you go. Thank you. All right. So we got a pretty big agenda, and hopefully we can get to it all. We'll try to do our best to get through as much as we can. The reality is most of this is, and there's several missing bullet points here, but we're going to go through every area of your home, and all of you are going to be getting up off your seat and spending about 5 minutes in between each section of your home, doing a little bit of an investigation and reporting back to the group. So there is a chat box in there, and I'd love for you all to drop in the chat box what you find, and then also you can raise your hand, and I am going to try to do my best to look at the hand raising as well. If you've got specific questions that you want to ask, or you want to input any information or what you found, I'd love for you to share it. And then also we're going to be doing some walking through and guessing which is greenest as far as what we find in homes first before you go through and take a look. So we definitely want you involved. We're going to have you answer questions and make guesses, and there's no wrong answers. We're all here to learn and have a conversation. So let's move forward. All right, so again, we're going to be doing sort of, can you guess which is more energy efficient? Left side, right side, up, down. And so hopefully you got that question box up next to you. We're going to start off with some easy ones and then go from there. And so the first thing we're going to do is look at your living room. Maybe you're sitting in your living room right now, so it'd be a great time to look around and see what's going on in there from a way to make you your home more energy efficient, lower your utility bills, improve your health, and be more comfortable. So here we go. The first one is the picture on the left or the picture on the right, the more energy efficient green option. Got a lot of less. Anybody on the right there? Kimmy, you look like you're struggling. You don't know. You can't tell.
Well, not exactly. I might be struggling on that, but I'm also struggling because I've lost the information on the right-hand side of my screen to be able to make comments in chat and such.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, you'll have to, you may have to either log out real quick or, yeah, I'm not really sure why the chat box is missing for you, so.
Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm going to log out and log back in.
All right, yeah, thanks. And then we got a few people with some, oh, those are questions. Okay, great. All right, so obviously that was an easy one just to kind of start off there. The thermostat, as far as a smart thermostat goes, and the other thermostat actually has mercury in it, which isn't very safe. A couple of things you should know, and the reason that this one is the better thermostat isn't for the reason you might think it is. It's not because it's necessarily going to make your house more energy efficient. The reason that is a problem and a misunderstanding that has been set out there is that the reality is if you set your thermostat way down or way high, right? So if it's like wintertime and you think you can set it low in the nighttime when you're not home to use less energy, here's the problem with that, and the reason that doesn't really ever work. In some cases it might, but it doesn't always. And the reason is because the walls cool down, and it takes a lot more energy to heat those walls up. So so you're going to actually use that energy you saved to heat your walls back up to that level to make you more comfortable, and it's going to make you less comfortable. So smart thermostats are good, not necessarily because you can have these wide temperature swings when you're not home or at night. They're good because they can do a lot of data tracking. They can give you information. They can inform you on how you're using energy. They can also do better things for your health, for ventilation, for humidity control. That's the reason smart thermostats are good. They don't actually really save energy, unfortunately. That is a bit of a misnomer. They can actually cause you to use more energy, they can also cause you to have humidity issues in your windows if you do a bunch of temperature swings. So actually our motto is hashtag set it and forget it. Just leave it at one level, walk away from it for the most part, other than the fact that if you're you're cold, so you want to turn it up, or you're warm, you want to turn it down. So that's one thing you should know about thermostats. But the smart ones, of course, are better just for other reasons. Okay, so left side or right side on this one, if you're looking at your windows. We got 2 rights, 3 rights. Anyone thinking the left side? All right, so that was another easy one. You know, we're talking basically nothing too special. Vinyl windows, double pane. Maybe they're Energy Star certified. Maybe they are they're low E glazing is what they have as well in these windows. You know, obviously these newer vinyl windows, even wood windows that are double pane, don't have to be triple pane. You know, that's very expensive. I know a lot of folks talk about triple pane in some of the energy efficient circles, but that can be really pricey. And so double pane windows work just fine. Now, however, let me suggest an alternative, especially in older homes. We really recommend repairing windows, reputtying them, repurposing them, sealing them up. It's going to be way cheaper. The reality is brand new windows, in comparison to all the other things we're going to talk about today for energy savings and cost, just cost way too much money to save any energy. They might look nicer, they might feel nicer, but if you're just trying to save energy in the most affordable way, most of the time, unless your home is chock full of windows, you know, newer windows are not going to save energy compared to other things that you could do. They will save energy, but just in comparison. So older windows can be repaired, reputtied, and the other thing you can do with them is put storms on the exterior, Energy Star certified storms that will add more R value or U value to the window. So you can repair, reputty, put on a storm, still way less than half the cost of a brand new window. Still looks good, still air seals that window up nice and tight and lets it deflect, keep heat in the wintertime. So that's what we recommend. We don't really recommend new windows, you know, unless unless your windows are in really bad shape and there's a safety issue, right, or there's a hole in it or whatever. Repairing and reputtying is going to be a much better way. And they make window placements for the inside too. So if the outside isn't working for you, there are manufacturers that make ones that can be popped in from the inside and seal the window off from the inside. You can do a combination of both. So that's what we highly recommend. So, okay, you're walking. Let's say you're walking into your house and you're looking down, or you're leaving your house and you're looking down at the floor. Which one is going to be the more sustainable entryway here? Is it left side or right side? And does anybody want to say why they made their choice? Got 2 people. So I don't know if we're getting such a good feeling, but any of you who said the side you thought it was, does anybody want to just give a reason why? Or maybe you don't know and maybe it just looks better. It just looks nicer, right? Yeah, so from a sustainability standpoint, this has nothing to do with energy, but we're also talking health. Okay, perfect, yeah. Easier to keep clean, free from moisture, right? You don't want to have carpet. You don't want to have carpet at all if you can avoid it. You definitely don't want to have carpet near entryways because of what gets dragged in from the house could be very toxic for kids. You want to have a place where you can take and encourage shoes to come off because shoes can drag in all sorts of nasty stuff from the ground and actually result in poor air quality for your house. So from a sustainability aspect, get that carpet out of the house entirely if you can, but at least get it away from all entryways and make sure that you've got things that encourage people or stop people to take their shoes off. You don't want to be wearing shoes in a house that are coming in from off the street and dragging in, you know, who knows what. So yeah, good job. Oh yeah, so there's the picture of the main one. Yep. All right. Left side or right side? What's the most energy efficient feature? And what is it? Got a lot of right sides, any other sides? Anybody on the left? Right. So light emitting diodes, LEDs, obviously currently the most energy efficient that you can find. And they're even more efficient than compact fluorescent bulbs. The other advantage they have over CFLs, now they're only slightly efficient over compact fluorescents, definitely more efficient than an incandescent that you see on the left. Compact fluorescents have a tendency to give off poorer quality light, which can lead to the reason I'm wearing glasses like this, headaches, night strain. LEDs also, if you break a compact fluorescent, it will put toxic mercury into your house. Not a good thing. LEDs come with warranties a lot of times. I had one break on me or go out early, and I emailed the company and they sent me a $10 check, right? How many times do you break a light bulb and get paid back for it? Or not break, but even have one go out early and then contact the company and they send you a check. Sometimes they have rebates. The other thing with LEDs is they make ones now that are of the ability to dim or go and turn into only orange light at night, which is a lot better for your health, for your sleep. If you have a lot of sleep issues, it might be better to make sure you're sitting under orange light or getting rid of blue light. So there are LEDs now on the market that can do that. So there's a lot of benefits to them beyond just the fact that they're more, energy efficient. Okay, left side. Which one's more energy efficient here? Left side or right side? And why? Does anyone want to explain real quick why? Right, left side because it's motion activated, right? You walk around your house, you're busy, kids are running around, you're not thinking about shutting lights off, they stay on all the time and they waste a lot of energy. So these, obviously, if you're ever building a new house, very cheap to do. On an existing home, these can be like, $30 each, plus paying an electrician, whatever, $200 to get it done. If you feel comfortable doing electrical yourself, there's a lot of great products out there where these things will dim out, after 30 minutes, after 10 minutes of inactivity, save you energy, save you money, especially while we're all here all the time in our homes running around now. I think these are going to be even more valuable. They also make light bulbs that have motion sensors built right into them. Some of them can actually go right through the glass too, of like a dome, a light dome. I've got several of these, and I would say that they work pretty well. Some of them not so much, but I've tried a couple different ones. These are way cheaper than these switches. You don't have to get into electrical. And they're now the price of what LEDs used to be, like $10, and a lot of them have warranties. So you can go online and order built-in motion sensor LEDs, put them in high-use rooms, and those work out, pretty well too. All right, so we're gonna have you all get up and do a quick scavenger hunt. I would say come back at how about 6:25, so like 4 minutes, and we're just gonna have you find, what you find in your house based on what we just talked about in the living room and what you see, and if you have thoughts on what you could improve, just share it out with the group. And if anybody wants to unmute and verbally share it too, I can do that. You just have to raise your hand. Yes, Daniel, this is the best place to respond right here in this chat box. Or, like I said, you can raise your hand and I can unmute you if you want to talk as well. Kimmy, I just assigned you a question. Are you able to see it now? Thought that might make it pop up by me assigning you this question.
Nope.
Okay. All right, so I don't know if anyone can hear me because you're out doing your scavenger hunt, but we'll give everybody just another minute and a half here or so. Kimmy, can you see the audio tab by any chance?
Let me look. I don't really know.
Okay.
I clicked on it, but I don't know what you want me to
Well,
do.
what I was saying is if you can see that, you should be able to see a questions tab. It's called questions.
I only see my questions to you.
Oh, you don't see anybody else's though? Is that
No,
what you were looking for?
correct.
Oh, okay, yeah. Unfortunately, I think they only go to me unless I assign them to you. So
Okay, that's
just
fine.
letting you know that. Yeah, yeah. I understand what you're saying. So, all right. Hopefully everyone is coming back now, or you probably already knew the answer. I got one person who shared here. Thank you for sharing. Thermostat is programmable, looking at doing smart flooring, vinyl at the exterior doors and windows could use some repair, and storm lighting is about, and the lighting is about 95% LED, so great. Anybody else want to share anything else they found, anything based on what we went over, anything surprising? Kimmy, I think you're still unmuted for some reason, unless you were going to share. All right, so we got a smart stat, hardwood floors, high efficiency vinyl windows, and all LED lightings. Great. Everyone's sharing the good stuff that they have. I can understand if it didn't turn out so well. No carpet in the foyer entry, but probably more than we should have. Yeah, I'm right there with you. All right, Nest thermostat, very good. Carpet, old windows, but I've used a clear weather seals tape to seal them on the exterior. Great. All LED lights, a gas fireplace. I've always wondered if I lose conditioned air up the chimney. Yeah, definitely. I mean, gas fire or any kind of fireplace that has a, um, has to exhaust, right, to keep carbon dioxide out of your home. And so, that's an important one, that obviously can cause leakage too. And, fireplaces can be air sealed better. I don't know exactly how yours is, but sometimes they can have opportunities for better air sealing around them, and we've seen that done before. I'm also really glad you brought up fireplace and triggered my memory about something else I completely forgot, but maybe when you're running around during one of the other scavenger hunts, I realized I forgot to put side by side a smoke detector and a CO carbon monoxide smoke detector, so dual. Because if you've got gas furnaces, which I assume most of you do, or water heaters, you really want to make sure you've got CO detectors on each floor of the house near bedrooms, because that can be very important if any kind of issue occurred and you had a carbon monoxide problem, especially as it's getting colder out. So one thing you might want to look at is, do you have combo, or do you have a CO detector in your house? And especially with you have a fireplace, so definitely want to make sure you have one of those next to that in case it ever were to leak out. So thank you for sharing, everyone. So let's move on to the basement, and we are going to make you go in your basement. If you don't want to, you don't have to. You might even already know what's down there. But there is a lot going on with how our homes are healthy and energy efficient down in basements. So let's take a real quick look here. Left side or right side, which one is going to be the most energy efficient? Might have to look real closely. Oh, and thanks, Kimmy Spring from Creston, for chiming in. At least for those of you in Creston, and I suspect, or in the city of Grand Rapids in general, you can contact the Grand Rapids Fire Department, and they will give out carbon monoxide detectors if you don't have one. So, and I suspect that might be the case for any city that anyone is calling in from here. So, hopefully most cities will be helpful. Okay, so I think a lot of you got this one, the left side, right? So especially the top there, right? That's your rim band. That's going to make a huge difference on your comfort and energy bills. And there's a lot of different ways these can be insulated. Fiberglass bats put in there, which don't do well on air sealing, or there could be cellulose put in there, or it could be foamed. And then walls. A lot of times basement walls are not very well insulated, and that can be easily done. If you don't want to hire a foam job, it can be done based on doing like a rigid, like a cellulose insulation that can be glued right up to your wall. I had that in an older house of mine, and people would come down and they would touch the wall and they'd freak out because it was squishy, and they thought it was cement because it looked just like the cement. You couldn't even tell the difference. So it still kind of maintained that basement look if that's what you're going for. All right. One note on CO detectors, yeah, exactly. So yeah, thank you. Detectors do have to be replaced. Thank you for sharing that. If you get them, you got to make sure to replace them. All right, so left side or right side here, which one is the most energy efficient one? And healthy for that matter. And why? Does anybody want to say why? There's actually kind of 2 or 3 reasons why too, if anybody wants to share why they think it is. Got 2 people left side. What's everybody thinking? Don't know. It's okay if you don't know. Great. So we've got, yeah, the looks newer part always helps out a lot. That's always a good guess. So we've got better insulated on the left, more efficient. We've got a closed intake exhaust system, low chance of carbon monoxide, exactly. So the left side, and I'll get to the other picture here in a second on the right, but yeah, so what you've got is closed combustion up here. So that's making the system more energy efficient. It's wasting less energy. It's also healthier, right? Because what it's doing is it's reducing that risk of moisture and carbon monoxide escaping the system. Also, you might not have seen, but there's a drain pan down here. And so if there's a water heater in or above a living space, you want to make sure it has a drain pan. Should it spring a leak or a slow leak, it won't damage or cause mold issues. So you want to make sure you got that drain pan. Now, on the right side here, does anybody know what this other one is on the right side here? Any guesses? Yeah, exactly. Heat pump water heater. So this is going to be the future of water heating. These are, especially now with REAM, up to 400% energy efficient. And they pull in air through the top up here, they pull in the heat, and then they exhaust colder air out here, and they use that to heat the water at super efficiencies. They can also be used as a battery by utility companies to heat water at night and then store it during the day. During grid demand times, and they can have incentives. I know that's not happening here in Michigan just yet, but it's happening other places. So these things are super energy efficient. They put off no emissions, and this is definitely going to be the future of water heating, no doubt. All right, left side or right side? And I think there's some kind of weird mirror imaging thing going on here, but and does anybody want to say why? Right side looks newer and has more and better vents. Okay. Efficiency. Yep. Yeah. So obviously the one on the right here, what we're looking at here again is the fact that it's sealed combustion. So a lot of times if you see this old metal pipe coming up, it's a good chance that this is open combustion furnace. They're 80% or less efficiency. Can be a health issue by putting in emissions or carbon dioxide into the house, whereas the sealed combustion units are sealed up and bringing in air from the outside right inside and then exhausting right outside as well. And they typically are about 90% efficient, all the way up to 98% efficient on these systems. There's other things you need to look out for too for furnaces. A lot of times even newer furnaces get oversized in a house. And so what happens when they get oversized is they tend to fire up real fast, ramp back down, shut down again, fire up real fast, shut back down. So you'll hear it kind of revving up all day long rather than constantly running all the time. We got my mom a more energy efficient, right-sized furnace. It was the correct size, or a little bit cheaper. She called me out. She's like, something's wrong. The furnace is always running. There's a problem with this thing. And I said, nope, 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 nope. You want it to always be constantly running, not going up, down, up, down. And so you want to look for right size. That's also especially important for your air conditioning, is making sure that they're right sized, because then they dehumidify a lot better if they're right sized. If they're constantly shutting up off and up and down, they don't dehumidify as well and can leave your house more humid, which can cause mold and other issues. So you want to make sure they're efficient and right sized. Okay, so you're still looking at the furnace and you're taking a look and you're getting the filter out. Which one just inherently is likely going to be the more sustainable and healthier option? Top, you could say left side or right side in this case. Left side over here. Right. Or well, yeah. And what anybody what makes it a better option? Hmm. Any guesses? Yep. So thicker, traps more particles, higher MERV rating. Yeah. So exactly the MERV rating on the one on the left. The larger filters are going to inherently have a higher MERV rating. However, you should know that you can get smaller filters that do have higher ratings on them, and you can put them in. There is some concern about that dragging down the life of the furnace because it restricts airflow and it can damage older furnaces. There was a recent study out of California in 2018 showing that it's not as a concern as we had thought it was prior to 2018 when they did their study. So jury's kind of out on that, but if you do want to amp up your um, furnace filter, once you start to get to MERV 13, you're starting to look at things that can capture viruses in the air, like influenza and other nasty viruses that are unfortunately going around these days. And so they capture, pet dander, candle smoke, allergens, everything. And so we highly encourage people to use MERV 8s or higher no matter what, at the very least, and to make sure, of course, you change your filter on a regular basis. If you're getting a new furnace, ask for the thicker filters because they work better, they don't restrict flow in the furnace, and they last longer. You don't have to change them less. So, all right, you're downstairs, you were looking at your furnace, now you pick your head up and you look up at your duct system. What's going on here? Which one here is left or right is going to be the more energy efficient one, and why? We got one on the left. Not sure. Can't tell. It's all right. So yeah. So yep. Okay. So yeah, a couple of you saying left and sealed, right? So if you look real closely, you'll see these joints here are sealed with mastic, right? So this is a really easy do-it-yourself thing. You can go down into your basement now, and you can get some mastic, or you can just get metal tape. Metal tape works fine too, and it doesn't put off VOCs or smell. And you can seal up all the joints, all the way down the furnace itself, all the way through the ducts, everything you can reach, and just seal it all up. And two things that will do is it sadly may make the space down there a little bit cooler if you were used to it being warmer or used it, but it directs that heat where it needs to go up through the rest of the house. So it's really going to make you more comfortable. Whether it saves on utility bills or not, that's kind of questionable, but it's definitely going to make you more comfortable, get better airflow, and reduce potential moisture issues and problems within your house. And it's an easy do-it-yourself thing. Unfortunately, a lot of your other ducts are probably buried behind the walls, and there is stuff on the market. You can contact an HVAC contractor and they can blow a sealant into the duct and it will spray all the way up through and seal up the ducts upstairs and help out a lot. But without that, you just have to hand seal it all yourself on what you can access. All right, so you're down in your basement and you take a look at your pipes. Which one here is going to be the most energy efficient? Top or bottom in this case? Yeah, the top one was not the type of insulation you typically see. But yeah, you're all right. Insulated pipes, usually you're going to see more of a like a nice little sort of gray sealant that you can put on. A lot of it's do it yourself. You can get that. There are some rebates for that, I think. But you can put that pipe wrap, and you want to run it. You want to run it at least 10 feet from the water heater if you can. And also, if you have a conditioned basement, you do want to run it on the cold water lines to, or sorry, an unconditioned basement rather. If you're not intentionally putting heating and cooling in your basement, you want to insulate the water line, the cold water lines too, to prevent moisture problems and water leaking and drippage. So insulate both of them, and that's a simple thing you can do. And then if you're getting new piping, PEX is more energy efficient than copper, which this is copper. It's cheaper, and it tends to be easier to install as well. So that's one thing to consider if you're planning on doing new plumbing systems. Okay, and if your dryer's down in your basement, obviously you want to make sure, and I'm just going to give this one away, you want to make sure that it's venting properly. Because if it's not venting properly, it's going to cause humidity issues in your house, moisture problems, potential dryer fires, especially if it's all plugged up. So this is an easy one. Make sure your dryer is totally connected all the way from the pipe going out all the way to the exterior, and that's cleaned off and kept clean, because that can cause humidity issues in the summertime and moisture problems. And also, if you're planning on getting a new dryer, we recommend doing condensing. And then condensing doesn't use any of this piping. You can seal off. That's what I did in my old house. We just foamed off the pipe, sealed it off, stopped air leakage in our house, stopped pest entry in that spot. And then a condensing dryer actually puts the moisture down into the same drain where the washer goes, instead of piping it outside and in your face while you're walking by. So, and it's much more energy efficient too. So we always recommend checking out condensing dryers if you're in the market for a new dryer, which right now, if you're trying to get a new appliance, it's not a great time to be in the market, but yeah. And yeah, absolutely, good point. So you might need to do an electrical upgrade to a 220 volt. Some condensing dryers, I don't think require that, but you may require an electrical upgrade for sure. So yeah, thank you for bringing that up. Yeah. All right, so let's spend let's go until about 6:50 here, and go down into your basement and report back, what you found in regards to some of these different things we covered. And then we'll jump into another area of your house. So I will be right back. Thanks. All right. Well, welcome back, everyone. Thanks for some of you sharing quite a bit here. I really appreciate it. Um, let's see, Mark. A lot has been updated, but basement walls are not insulated. But technically, only half the wall is because it's a raised ranch style. So some of it's under the ground, some of it's not. Water heater is newer, but not closed. So yeah, that's one thing to watch out for. It's a good point that a lot of times, they'll come in to install newer water heaters, and unless you're very specific about it being Energy Star, they're still putting in um, naturally drafted water heaters. Even new homes, it's not against our code here in this state, so still putting in inefficient water heaters that could become problematic. Um, let's see, yeah, ducts are all closed, so cannot see about the leakage. So not as big of a deal if they're all sealed up, behind drywall or something. A dryer vent goes through a crawl space, and I have to keep an eye on the joints that become separated and humidify that space. Um, so yeah, that's another good reason to make sure that's well connected, sealed. Lori, basement is finished. Block furnace is 80%, and the filter is MERV 11, good number. Water heater is good, ducts good, plumbing could use insulation in a few places, and the dryer vent's connected, so that's good. And Daniel, the basement walls, rim band sealed, but walls were not. That's usual. Furnace is gas, close combustion. Filter is MERV 8, it's a good number. Water heater is gas chimney type, so naturally drafting. Oh, sorry, you guys can't hear me? Didn't realize you couldn't hear me. Can everybody hear me? Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry, Travis, I'm not sure what's going on. You might have to just do a sound check and click the audio. Let me type that to you because you can't hear me saying it. Thanks, everybody. Um, so ducts are sealed with metal tape. Hot water pipes are insulated, not the cold pipes since it's conditioned, not a big deal. Dryer is gas with about a 6-foot run to the vent. Good. All right. Well, let's head into your kitchen and take a look around in here. First thing is, now the question is from a sustainability standpoint, what is going to be the best, healthiest, most energy efficient choice, the left side or the right side? And yeah, thank you. Some of you are putting the reason in too, so I appreciate that. All right, we got a couple lefts here. Anybody on the right? Right, so I think those of you who are responding, a lot of you are shy. That's okay. We're all here to learn. So yeah, the left side, no gas, electric. You're absolutely right. Electric stoves are going to be more energy efficient. They don't put off combustion, so there's less toxins, less toxic air, poor air quality going on in your house from an electric stove. Of course, downside is awful at cooking. But some people can handle that, others can't, and I get it. On the right side here, of course, is really the future of cooking. This is induction. This is electric, but it only heats when you need it to at controlled temperatures. And it's actually more efficient than standard electric heating as well. And, there are famous chefs coming out. I just saw another article today with an interview of another famous chef saying, this is what I'm only using now. This is what I'm converting over to. So we know that it cooks better than gas. We know it's most efficient, and it has no off-puts. And we're seeing the price plummet on induction. If you want to try this out before you buy it, you can go online and you can get a single top plate, and you can order it for like $50, and you can put it on next to your cooktop and you can test it out, see how it works if you're really into cooking, see if it works for you and your family before you commit to a whole one. They make those single top plate induction. So check them out. I highly recommend it. Though I'm not picky, so I have an electric stove and I'm happy with just cooking that way. But I get it. You love to cook, you got your gas, and it works really well. But these are going to win out. So yeah, and they have combos, so you can get the full oven combination with they have all different setups for that too. So yep. All right, let's keep looking at the stove here for a second and look around. The right picture kind of doesn't get very much room here for you, but what's going to be the most sustainable choice and why? From what you can just tell looking at in this picture anyway. Got one guess on the left. Got a not sure. Can't tell. Somebody said left because no oven. That actually may be a pull-out oven in there. Who knows? All right. So I've got two pictures here, but let's focus on the one on the top there. So the left was true, and that's because of it has a hood exhaust. And so now we can't be quite certain whether this microwave exhausts or not, because a lot of microwaves do exhaust, but this is definitely a hood that is exhausting outside. So anyone we recommend who's got gas and they want to keep their gas, definitely need to have a hood that exhausts all the way outside, not into the attic, which can cause moisture problems, but all the way outside to the exterior and get the emissions outside of the house. Even if you have electric stoves can put off emissions. You burn some food, it gets really bad smelling. So make sure you've got that in there. And on the left side here, you can see this could be like a microwave that's also ducted. So you have to open up the cabinet doors and take a look. And if you see that duct coming out with the tape on it, then you know that the microwave is probably also ducted as well. They could be too. You just can't tell from looking at it. If you have recirculating, you can turn it on, sure, that's great, but basically it just kicks the air right up, it kicks it out of the danger zone where you're at cooking, but it just kicks the bad emissions right up over your head and back into your house, and they eventually fill the house up. So you want to make sure it's vented outside. All right, so you're in your kitchen, taking a look at your refrigerators. Which one here, most likely just by looking at it and not knowing anything else, is going to be more energy efficient? All right, we've got dueling, we've got a right, we've got a left, we've got a right, we've got a left. All right, I couldn't ever really stump you all. You guys are pretty smart. But we've got some different, we've got a 50-50 split here from the ones who did answer, which is great. So the one on the left is just from looking at it potentially is going to be more energy efficient because you want to have freezers either on the top or the bottom. When they're side by side, they're typically way less efficient, even if they're Energy Star certified or brand new for, or well, at least from a year standpoint. The other thing is this one has an ice maker, and the ice maker is also going to knock the efficiency down of the fridge as well. So one thing you can do is you can go look at the model number in your fridge, like I have a picture here. And if this little model thing doesn't say that it's Energy Star certified, you can take a look and see if it's certified Energy Star, and that would be another helpful hint. This is a picture of my refrigerator here. I replaced the incandescent bulb with an LED bulb. So I was very aggressive on my own efficiency, and so you can swap it out. I've had it in there for 3.5 years and it hasn't burnt out. It works. The cold doesn't harm it. So you can get a little LED bulb and swap out that super inefficient incandescent one is another suggestion in there. And then just make sure you're looking for that Energy Star label, dishwasher, clothes washer, you name it. Just make sure, you know, it's hard to not get it anymore, but you should always ask if you're getting a new appliance. All right, so for our kitchen sinks, what you want to do is you want to take a look at the flow rate, which is right behind the thing, and see what it's stamped at. And so you want to be looking at a kitchen sink with ideally 1.8 gallons per minute GPM. 1.5 is doable. Anything lower than that, it just starts to become annoying because you want it to flow when you're doing dishes or whatever. But you're going to be able to save energy from your water heater and save water if you can get the aerator on your sink down to 1.8 is sort of the top level, 1.5 being the best. And anything lower than that's going to be, you know, it's going to flow too slow. So check that out for your sinks. And so we are at 7:01 and we still have a lot more to cover. But I guess instead of going in and doing the scavenger hunt, maybe just real quick what you know about your house. What do you think's going on in your kitchen from you know, an energy efficient standpoint? Maybe I'll just give you a minute to answer. So. And if you wanted a quick run and check your faucet, that would be cool. And I did spell dishwasher wrong. Dishwasher. Wow. Yep, I do see that. I make presentations at 5 in the morning. So just anybody any thoughts that they want to share on, do you have a hood range? Do you know if your hood range vents outside or if it vents in the attic, which can be a problem? Do you prefer cooking with gas? Microwave has a vent out front of it. So if you put your hand above it while you're cooking, do you feel the air spitting out? Yeah, I prefer cooking with gas. So yeah, you might want to check out induction, give it a shot. But at least if you're cooking with that gas, make sure you've got the range running and it's venting outside. So. Got a cooktop electric, hood range, vented out, fridge, top freezer, dishwasher, Energy Star, faucet at 2 gallons per minute. Hey, that's not bad. Low flow faucet, electric exhaust fridge, energy efficient. Thanks for sharing, yeah. And yeah, fridge with a bottom freezer works just fine too. Top or bottom is great, so thank you. All right, so let's head into the bathroom real quick. And so one thing you can do is if you don't know the flow rate, you can get a measuring cup and you can get a 10-second timer, run it as fast as you can, or run as high and stop it around 10 seconds, and then take a look at how much water. This is if you can't figure out what the flow rate of your devices are, whether it be your kitchen, your bathroom, or your shower. You can do this in your shower, but use a larger bucket. And so the math is, you know, you're going to look at, we had 14 ounces of water. So there's 128 ounces in a gallon. We ran it for 10 seconds. So it's 14 ounces divided by 128 equals 0.9 times 6. So that our calculation came out to be roughly 0.65 gallons per minute in a device that I know is rated at 0.5. So that's pretty close. And the reason that it might flow a little bit higher is you could have high pressure in your house, which the city of Grand Rapids is actually pretty good. We test hundreds of homes there every year, and the pressure always comes in really good. It could just be that I went over 10 seconds when I timed it out. But if you can't find the flow rate of your devices and you want to have more water efficient devices, try to time it out using that method, and I can share that out too with you. But what we want to have for our bathroom faucet aerators is roughly, ideally, to be water efficient and to save you energy on your gas water heating when you're running hot water, is roughly 1.5, and 1 is even better, and 0.5 works 2 gallons per minute. For shower heads, we want to see those at 1.75 gallons per minute or 1.5 gallons per minute. So the utilities have rebates for those. And those save a lot of water on increasing water bills and energy. Okay, toilet here. Just real quick off the top of your head, just by looking at it and judging it based on its looks, which one of these are probably going to use less water? Right, or left. So yeah, so you've got a dual flush toilet. Most likely is going to use less water. I got the wrong picture. There's the follow-up. But now the thing is that there are toilets now that are single flush, and they go down to 0.8 gallons per flush. I installed one of these in a 2-story super old home from the 20s with an old cast iron drain on the 2nd floor. And like, that's one of those situations where it becomes questionable if 0.8 gallons per flush can actually work or not. And it worked just fine, had it great for 3 years. And now they're even making toilets down to 0.5 gallons per flush as the high flush or the low flush, and 0.9. And so, you know, toilets are actually the #1 water user in our homes unless we have massive sprawling yards. And the easiest way without reducing any comfort, like a shower head, if you reduce your flow rate there, you can, you know, it might be a comfort issue then, right? So, you know, toilets, they don't save energy, right? At least for you, because they don't use energy. But with water bills going up significantly, you know, make sure to check the flow rate on your toilet. One easy way you can do that is pop the lid off, and you'll be able to see a stamp in there, hopefully. If you don't, then it's probably a really high flow. But pop the lid off and take a look if you can see the stamp on the inside, and you can see what flow rate it's at. And anything that's at 1.28 or lower is considered low flow. And so again, just another way to easily drop water bills, you know, if you're doing an upgrade and want to upgrade your toilets. And then shower heads, you can look for the stamps usually on the inside of the shower or around the edge. And you want to make sure you're selecting WaterSense certified. So this is the equivalent of Energy Star for water. So you want to look for WaterSense labels for all your water devices if you're getting new ones. And that helps ensure and verify that they're a lower flow, which can help save energy too, again, because if you're using a shower or faucets and you're using hot water, that pulls from your water heater. All right, so you're in the bathroom, you looked at all the water stuff. Now you've got 2 different bathrooms here, one on the left, one on the right. Just real quick, what is the most sustainable one and why? Got someone on the right side? Any reason why? Right side, no tub. Right side. All right, well, a lot of you, you're thinking water, which is which is probably my fault for talking about water and then moving directly here, but I am moving to something entirely different. This one has a bath fan, a vent fan, right? So yeah, absolutely, tubs use more water than showers, definitely, no doubt about that. But you know, a tub is going to use the water that a tub is going to use, so there's nothing we can really do about that. You wouldn't want a low-flowing tub because you just wait longer. So what we were looking for here is the absence of the bath fan, but I do think I did trick you here by having a tub missing, so that's my fault. But yeah, the bath fan, right? So you want to make sure you have a well-functioning, ideally Energy Star certified bath fan that isn't venting into the attic, but also venting outside, or you're going to cause humidity and health issues and air quality issues, potential mildew within your house. One thing you can do is what we call the bath fan test. And so this is, you can just grab a piece of toilet paper and put the fan off running, and if it sticks, that is your first sign that it is working. And that it's not falling off. Now that doesn't tell you how it's flowing, how much air it's pulling in, but it is something that you know, will tell you that it's at least, you know, functioning well and getting pull and hopefully not plugged up or dumping into the attic, which we see all the time when we go into homes. So you can check that out when you get a chance. We don't have time right now to go through that. Here's the other thing you need to know about bath fans. Bath fans are your simple way to improve the air quality of your house right now. And I encourage everyone to go and just turn your fans on and just let them run. Just don't stop them. Because what that's going to do is it's going to have your house hit the air exchange standards that are now legally code for new construction homes and what we recommend for all existing homes. I have my bath fan running 24/7. And what it does, and I know it does this, is I've got air quality sensor in my house that's telling me how much volatile organic compounds there are, which reduces health, and carbon dioxide buildup in my house, which reduces my ability to function. It hurts sleep if you have carbon dioxide building up in your house. So one thing that instantly happens when I keep my bath fan running, and it was a nice day today, so I opened the windows today, but the days when it's not nice, which is most of the times in Michigan, it's either too hot or too cold, you don't have any ventilation in your house. So by running those bath fans constantly, it's kicking out bad air, and it's you know, ensuring at least a simple, cheaper, faster way to have better air quality in your house until you can get better repairs and bring in fresh air in other means. So by having a well-functioning bath fan, it protects your bathroom against moisture issues, but then also helps out for air quality in your home. And you wouldn't even know it unless you had sensors, but you know, we know that this stuff works pretty well. Yeah, so you know, if you have more than one bathroom, you know, it just depends. Again, without knowing the pull of your fan, it's probably 50 CFM. And so technically speaking, you want to have 40 to 50 CFM of air moving per person in your house. So each bathroom is, think of each fan is equivalent to one person. So if people are constantly there, each fan you want to run for each person that's there is usually the rule of thumb. Now, maybe that fan is super powerful and we don't know it without it being tested, and we're going to get into that. But you know, that's one thing to look out for. So, so you may just want to try running one if you've got more than one bathroom. See if that helps. Again, without an air quality monitor, you wouldn't really know. But you know, whichever one's in the main level. So. All right, we're gonna skip the attic part, and we're not gonna make you go into your attic, so you all lucked out there. But you know, when you get a chance, pop your head into your attic if you feel like it's safe. Attics can have vermiculite in them, which can be toxic and it can fall down. So you know, check your attic and make sure it's got the one on the top right there insulated very well. And how much insulation, you can measure it with a measuring stick and try to figure out how much, excuse me, I swallowed some water wrong, how much insulation is in there. And so that's something you want to see as like a nice little soft cushion of it building up in your attic. And if your attic is inaccessible, you know, someone might have to use a heat gun to figure out, especially during the winter as it gets colder, how well insulated it is. And then outside, let's take a look real quick outside real quick. You can see here, this is an easy one. I'm just gonna kind of get through here so we have enough time to talk about some other items. If you've got an old chimney, old chimneys do tend to leak water eventually when there's heavy snow loads. So you wanna make sure it's flashed very well. Or bonus, if you've got an energy efficient water heater and an energy efficient or electric water heater and an energy efficient furnace, you get rid of the chimney, you pipe everything out the side, and this thing can be removed so it doesn't cause you water leak issues in the future. Inevitably, these old chimneys fail and they will eventually leak. So either you're gonna keep flashing them and keep up on them, or I recommend just getting rid of those things and either going all electric or making sure you've got everything vented through the side of the house through the PVC piping. The other thing is, don't know what I was doing with that photo. The other thing is you can barely see it in this house, but this house on the bottom has gutters, right? You want to make sure you've got properly functioning gutters that are well draining and keeping water moving away from the house. Unless you live in an area with well draining sandy soils, if you've got moisture issues in your basement, this could be one of the reasons if you don't have gutters or they're not working properly, because it builds up water around the foundation of the house and causes all sorts of problems, moisture issues, humidity issues, comfort issues, all the way to causing asthma and mold issues as well, if you don't have that water constantly moving away from the house. And then here in this other picture, if your house is, you can take a look if your house is really shaded or not. And in the case of the house on the right, very well open, maybe very well for solar applications, and it might work out well for you. The other thing is you can go to your local county health department and you can get a radon test. That's pretty cheap, or you can order them online. And you can see this house here on the left has a little bit of a radon pipe here that's getting radon out of the house. Radon is the #2 cause of lung cancer. Certainly don't need anything right now to harm our lungs. We need to protect them as much as we can. And so, you know, get your house tested. Even if you don't live in an EPA zone that's rated bad for radon, we find all sorts of homes have bad radon issues despite not being in a bad radon zone. These things can be installed on existing homes anywhere from, you know, $500 to $1,000. And especially if you've got kids living in the basement where radon is really high usually, make sure to get a test and test it and get one of these things installed to help protect you and your family's health. Okay, so some other exercises you can take is first of all, I wanted to say, I forgot to put the photo in here, but if you're on Consumers Energy, they've got fantastic resources. If you log into your into your portal and go into the Home Energy Analyzer, and I might be getting that name wrong, but if anyone is on Consumers and want to correct me, but I use it all the time. I can see exactly when, and it's not what I'm showing you here, but I can see exactly when I'm using energy, something coming on at night. It tells me like if I have spikes in energy, and it's a really cool resource that Consumers provides, and I really appreciate it. Through my smart meter, that I can go in and see what the heck is going on with at least electricity in my house. So that's a great way to get informed about your electric bill. Now, to get informed about your house holistically, Energy Star has something called a home energy yardstick. So what you need is you need to know where you live, what your home square footage is, and if you don't know what that is, you can use Zillow and it will give you an approximation. How many occupants are in your house, a list of the types of fuels you use, so probably electric and natural gas, and then you need to get a copy of your last 12 months of utility data, which I know is all crazy right now because of the pandemic, but get 12 months of data. You could do your 2019 bills if you want to get more accurate information based on normal life. But get all that, put it all together, go to their website, and then you're going to put in all this information and then it's going to spit out, you're going to put in more details about your fuel type, you're going to put in the date range of your utility bills, you're going to put in all your utility bills, electric, natural gas, based on your kWh and your therms. And then it's going to kind of spit out how your home is performing in regards to similar homes to see if your home is really energy efficient or if you have a lot of work you need to do. And then it puts together this really cool sort of task list that you can work on how to plan a project to make your house more sustainable and energy efficient, and you can save it, online. Now you might be thinking, gosh, maybe I could just have someone come out and help me out with this, and you'd be absolutely right. So we recommend working with a home energy assessor, and we have folks that can help you out, and they can come in and do what we call the Department of Energy Home Energy Score. And the Home Energy Score is an asset-based rating based on things in your house that are unlikely to change in the future. So heating, hot water, ducts, cooling, attic insulation, window types, foundation, features of your home here, the things we don't really care about because they don't use much energy and they can change so quickly, our lighting, appliances, and of course your behavior. We don't care what you do. It's like when you go to buy a car, we don't care if you drive it fast, you drive it, if you're lead foot, if you drive it slow, whatever, if you keep your tires inflated, we don't know, that's your business. What we're looking at are the things that really impact your energy that are structural, that you really can't really control with your behavior, which can only really amount to 10% in savings, if that. And that's where, smart thermostats fit in this diagram here. So assessor will come in and do a full assessment, looking at all these things in your home using tools like blower door tests and thermal imaging cameras. And they'll tell you how your home is scoring officially through the Department of Energy's Home Energy Score program, and then where your home could improve if you made upgrades, how much money it'll save you per year, how many MBTUs it'll save you in energy and therms, and how many kilowatt hours it'll save you. And then in the report, it will tell you exactly what it is that needs to be fixed: air tightness, ducts, duct sealing, what you might want to fix later when it breaks down, or if there's financial resources available to you. This will be all the information you'll get during one of our assessments. We'll also come in and help potentially with a green home inspection, and we'll look at other things outside of energy efficiency that impact your health and comfort. So we might look at ventilation, filtration, water leaks, radon, structural issues, moisture issues, gas leaks, which you're paying for that if it's on your side of the meter. You're paying to poison your house, and other issues. So we'll take a look at that. And if you fix all these issues, you can actually get a Green Star certification on your home, which is a formal certified home. So you're probably thinking, how am I going to pay for all this? Well, there's a lot of financial resources out there, and a lot of them can be used together, and some of them are income qualified, some of them are not. It depends on how much money you make, how big your family is, and they can be utilized together at certain times of the year to help you fund an improvement project. Utility companies have a lot of great rebates, DTE, Consumers, Holland, wherever you might be. And depending on your income, potentially between these two different entities, DTE and Consumers, we've seen projects maybe funded up to $10,000 in funds to help pay for your improvement costs. Now we've also got Kimberly, who I want to hand it to here from the Kent County Weatherization Action Agency. And so if you wanted to talk real briefly about your program, we'd love to have you.
Okay, logged in. Hi. I work for Kent County Community Action. I am in the Weatherization Department, among others. And what we do is kind of a mirror reflection of what Brett was talking about with the energy audit and finding out what level of efficiency your home is functioning at. We also do a lot of the same measures that he was talking about with LED bulbs and air sealing and insulation and all of those things. We do them primarily for low income. So you have to be at 200% of poverty or less. And those numbers are easy to come by if you want to look them up. Literally, you can just Google 200% of poverty. It'll come up with a chart. Follow it along, find out how many, or determine how many members live in the household, and that'll give you the magic number that we work with to find out if you're qualified. Beyond that, we have an intake process that'll get you kind of into queue, and your house is also part of the determining factor, so it's not solely based on income, but we send an auditor out to your home to do a quick assessment. It's not the in-depth one that Brett was talking about initially. And we can determine pretty quickly if the house is one that's going to qualify for us having, or to be able to work on. A couple of the things that we watch out for are going to be friable asbestos and the vermiculite, like he was talking about in the attic. We can't work with any of that. And if you've got live knob and tube, either in the attic or in the basement, that's also a hindrance for us. We do give you time to remediate if indeed you choose to, and then we can come in and kind of assess again. On top of that, and sort of as a side function, we have another grant that we're just coming online with next week that helps mitigate water problems. So if you've got a water problem in the basement, we can't weatherize, but we have another program that can go in ahead of that, perhaps fix some of the problems that'll allow us to come in and weatherize later. So, any questions, anything you need to specifically answered? And I don't have access, just like Kimmy doesn't, to a question screen at all.
Yeah, I'll let you know if any come through though, if you can stick around with us for a little bit. Yeah.
It's weatherization through Pitt County Community Action is a little bit of a lengthy process. And initially, I do an intake that's kind of short and sweet and condensed, and we just get a snapshot of the household. We get a snapshot of the house itself as a physical building. After we determine that you're income qualified, and I will say too, if you are on SSI, not SSDI, but SSI or cash assistance, you automatically qualify, regardless of the income level and the 200% of poverty. So that'll get you in the door. Following that little pre-screen, that's when we send out the auditor to do kind of the mini assessment, make sure that there aren't any mitigating factors that are going to hold us back. After that, we will set you up with an intake worker, and she will do kind of the heavy-duty paperwork and the assembly of an actual file so that we have all of the T's crossed and the I's dotted. Following that, that's when we'll come out, we'll send another auditor to do the energy assessment, and that's quite a bit like what Brett was discussing, looking at all of the functions of the house, the mechanical, the air exchanges, that sort of thing. And that's a lengthy audit. Takes probably 3 to 4 hours, well worth your time to find out sort of how your house functions as a whole. That gives us enough information to determine what the scope of our job will look like, how much insulation, what air sealing we need to do. The program could also possibly provide a new furnace, although it's tougher to get those through. Water heaters, certainly, we take a look at and can replace. Refrigerators actually are your biggest appliance energy usage. And so if your refrigerator is older, we can also look at replacing that. So kind of hits all of the things. Brett talked about running a bathroom fan. We put those in regularly. Those are kind of new as far as requirements go. They're less of an option and more of a must at this point. And you're right, they keep the air pollutants down and keep the house breathing the way it should. So CO detectors are another thing that we do automatically along with LED bulbs. So those are part of the program. Regardless of how much mechanical work and everything we do, that's definitely a thing. We can do rental units that are On the smaller side, we can't go above a fourplex. We do a homeowner, anything, you know, that people are mortgaged or buying outright. What else was I going to say? I don't know, I think I lost my train of thought.
Kimberly, thank you so much.
Give me, yeah, you're welcome.
You. So if anyone has any questions, they can feel free to email me and I will connect with you, Kimberly, to
Perfect.
sort all that stuff out.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, thank you so much.
For sure. Easily done. Happy to be here. Thanks for inviting us.
Yeah. And just so you know, there are action agencies, for those of you tuning in outside of Kent County, there are action agencies all over the country, all over the state. So please do contact your local action agency and get help if you need assistance there. So, well, it is 7:30, but I have a couple more financial resources I wanted to cover with folks. And so if people want to stick around and keep talking for a little bit, we can stick around. If you've got to go, I understand, you won't be rude. But we're pretty much at the end. We pretty much made it, so thanks for hanging in with us. I had a few more things I wanted to go over, and we'll email out this along with the recording too, if you want to just tune in later and watch the recording, if you feel like you want to get going now and get back out there. But a couple other items is the Neighborhood Impact Program through Federal Home Loan Bank, which is equally across the country and in Grand Rapids. And so this program is one you want to start thinking about now. You want to get your audits done now, and then in the springtime, you'll be ready to apply for this fund, which gets used up quick. $7,000, up to $7,000 in grant work for income qualified for home repair, which can be used in junction with what Kimberly just talked about and utility rebates. So it's something you can use in addition to. We've also got our friends at Michigan Saves, who I've personally used their funds to improve a house before. They make it a lot easier to get access to funds for energy efficiency improvements. We've seen solar financed, we see water efficiency, home health issues financed. If you're in Holland, they manage the Holland's on-bill financing program through a special program there. So check out michigansaves.org. They've got a lot of great resources for borrowing up to $40,000 for home improvement repairs and even electric car vehicle charging stations as well. Mercantile Bank is working with special local community organizations for their Fix-It loan program. So low to moderate income homeowners with no closing costs and low fixed rates. So again, to help build up and help you find another means to do an improvement. One program I'm really excited about that I'm helping pilot with my own house is Freddie Mac's Green Choice Mortgage, which the whole idea of this mortgage is it's a green-based mortgage. So if you are a homeowner or you're going to buy a new home, you can do a refinance through this. And basically it extends your borrowing power to borrow more money to do more energy efficient and healthy home improvements. The whole idea behind this is if you look at it on the left side here, you've got a home. Let's just use an example. You got a home with an $800 a month mortgage, and you've got $300 a month on average, right? I know it's different every season, but $300 a month on average utility bill, right? And so you use a green mortgage, next thing you know, you're paying potentially the same thing, right? You're still paying $1,100 per month, but what you've done is now you're only paying $100 in your utility bill and $1,000 in your mortgage because you've paid more money. Now what you have now is you have brand new systems that work better. They make you more comfortable. They make your home healthier, and they reduce your utility bill. Now, I don't know, unless there's something I don't know, but the more money you pay your utility company, you do not build equity, right? So if you're paying them all this money every month, you're not building equity with them. You're not getting any value out of that, right? But when you're paying down your mortgage, you are building equity. So if you can shift that money from a traditional mortgage using a green mortgage to and reduce your utility bill, then you're building up equity into your own house, into yourself, and saving energy. And in fact, many times now with the super low interest rates, you might find that this number actually goes down even lower. So your total, what we call total cost of home ownership, that includes your utility bills, your maintenance, that includes everything that you have to pay. You're not just paying a mortgage, you're not just paying utility bills. All those go down when you have better improved systems, which you can get through that. So you can contact us if you want to learn more. I'm going through that as one of the first homes in Michigan to improve, and we're hoping to see more people do it. And the other good news is that once you have a green home and you go to sell your home, you can use the Swimrix Green Seller Disclosure Form, or wherever you might live, there might be a Green Seller Disclosure Form, and then it can get listed on the Green Multiple Listing Service, and in theory, it'll increase your home's value. Right now, that's not a problem. Homes have no problem holding high value, but in the future, that won't always be true. So you'll be more competitive, you can sell your home faster, you can sell your home higher, because homes, a lot of times with these energy efficient, these green labels and certifications and improvements, can sell higher, can sell faster in a down market where we don't currently have the conditions we have. So I want to thank everyone for joining us. We have more information at our website, greenhomeinstitute.org, on education, training, classes, more ways to get involved, to get an energy audit done. We're going to send a recording out to this webinar as well, so you can access it, learn a little bit more. I know if you're in Creston, Kimmy's going to be a resource there to help connect you with all these different financial and funding resources that are coming up. We'll also be a resource for you too. If you have a question, you can contact us through our contact form on there. And thank you so much for taking your time out of your night to join us. I hope it was helpful. A survey will pop up at the end or be emailed to you an hour later. Please do take that and let us know how we did. So I got some time. Yeah, Kimmy, yeah.
And thank you, Kimberly.
And I don't see any other questions, but again, if anything does come to mind, do let us know. So hopefully I'm not missing them. Nope. All right. Well, yeah, thanks again so much, and have a good rest of your night, everyone. Take care.